Hey everyone, before we dive into this, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, because what I'm about to show you is something that could change the way you see money forever. The world we live in today is ruled by a single force you probably take for granted every single day: the US dollar. It's in your wallet, on your credit card, even printed on the prices of almost everything you buy. But behind its green sheen lies a story of global power, influence, and control. And now, a storm is quietly brewing on the horizon. A storm led by BRICS, the coalition of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. You might be asking, why does it matter to me? Well, let me put it this way. The dollar has been the world's reserve currency for decades. That means almost every country on Earth relies on it for trade, for oil, for gold, for life as we know it. But imagine if that monopoly started to crumble. Imagine a world where the US doesn't hold the reins anymore. That's exactly what BRICS is aiming for. Let's take a step back. The BRICS nations aren't just random countries with big populations. They're economic powerhouses, sitting on massive natural resources, technological advancements, and growing influence in global markets. Brazil has its agriculture, Russia its energy, India its booming tech sector, China its manufacturing empire, and South Africa, well, it's the gateway to the entire African continent. Together, they are forming a financial alliance that could rival the dollar itself. In 2014, BRICS launched the New Development Bank. A simple name, right? But the implications are huge. Its purpose? To fund massive infrastructure projects within BRICS countries and beyond, without relying on Western-dominated financial systems like the IMF or the World Bank. It's a silent revolution. And here's where it starts to get interesting. It can borrow money cheaply, spend freely, and essentially print its way out of crises. But if BRICS succeeds in creating a new, widely accepted currency for trade, maybe even a digital one, the US could lose that advantage almost overnight. China, for example, has been quietly expanding its influence with the digital yuan. Russia is pushing for the ruble in energy deals. Brazil and India are exploring alternatives to the dollar for trade settlements. And South Africa, well, it's quietly positioning itself as the bridge between BRICS and Africa. This isn't just a plan. This is a coordinated strategy to shift global economic power. Think about it like a chess game. The US has been playing with all the pieces in its favor for decades. But BRICS? They're setting the board for a checkmate that most people don't even see coming. And if they pull it off, the ripple effects will be felt everywhere. From Wall Street to Main Street, from London to Sydney. Now, I don't want to scare you unnecessarily. The dollar isn't going away tomorrow. But history teaches us one thing: no empire lasts forever. And right now, there's a quiet but powerful movement that could fundamentally reshape the way global finance works. And here's the part most people miss. It's not just about money, it's about sovereignty. Countries are tired of being dictated to by policies that favor the dollar. They're tired of sanctions that can cripple an economy overnight. BRICS is offering a promise: trade, invest, and grow on your own terms, without being tethered to the US financial system. That's why this isn't just economics, it's geopolitics at its rawest, most thrilling form. And the suspense? Well, it's building fast. The next few years could determine whether the US keeps its financial dominance, or watches as a new system emerges. Quietly, confidently, and maybe even irrevocably. So, what does this mean for everyday people like you and me? If BRICS succeeds, the world of finance as we know it could shift dramatically. Currency values could fluctuate. Investments could change overnight. And that's the suspense we're all living in. A financial thriller unfolding in real time, with billions of dollars, untold power, and the future of global trade hanging in the balance. And this is just the beginning. There are moves being made behind closed doors, deals being signed quietly, and strategies unfolding that could leave the world looking very different within a decade. So, buckle up, because in the next part, we're going to dive into the shocking strategies BRICS is deploying right now. Strategies that could shake the US dollar to its core. We'll explore the potential consequences for the global economy, and why this could be one of the most critical financial battles of our lifetime. Alright, let's dive back in. The moves BRICS is making aren't random. They're calculated, strategic, and aimed squarely at the heart of the dollar's dominance. Here's where it gets really interesting. BRICS is exploring the idea of a new common currency. Not a cryptocurrency, not a digital gimmick, something that could be used across multiple countries for international trade. If that happens, it could be a game changer. Imagine a world where oil, gold, and critical resources are traded in a currency other than the dollar. The US wouldn't just lose convenience, it could lose influence, leverage, and the ability to dictate global economic rules. Some economists call it the most significant financial challenge the dollar has faced in decades, and the stakes are enormous. The dollar doesn't just represent money, it represents power, and power doesn't like to be shared. But here's the suspenseful part. This isn't guaranteed. The US isn't standing still. The Federal Reserve, Treasury Department, and financial strategists are fully aware of the threat. Measures are being taken quietly to defend the dollar's supremacy. It's a high-stakes game of chess, and both sides are moving pieces behind the scenes that the public might never see. Now, let's pause for a moment and think about what does this mean for ordinary people? For investors? For families saving for the future? A shift away from the dollar could lead to volatility in currencies, fluctuations in commodities, and even shifts in the cost of goods we take for granted. But here's the thing. The future isn't written yet. BRICS has momentum, yes. They have resources, yes. They have ambition, yes. But the US dollar has history, trust, and deep integration in every corner of global finance. This is a story of suspense, but also of balance, strategy, and timing. Think of it like a thriller movie. The hero, the dollar, has ruled the story for decades. The challenger, BRICS, is moving in, planning their moves in shadows, gathering allies, and building momentum. And just like any great thriller, the ending isn't obvious. Every decision, every trade, every deal could tip the scales one way or another. And here's the emotional part. This isn't just numbers on a screen. This is about power, about freedom, and about who gets to shape the rules of the world economy. Imagine waking up one day and the currency you've relied on for decades no longer carries the weight it once did. That's the reality we could face if this global shift accelerates. So, where does that leave us? We're at the edge of a financial cliff, watching two forces, an entrenched empire and a rising coalition, maneuver for dominance. The outcome isn't guaranteed. The tension is real, and the implications could redefine wealth, power, and stability across the globe. Here's the takeaway. This isn't just a story for economists or politicians. It's a story for anyone who cares about the future of money, the stability of markets, and the balance of global power. It's a story unfolding right now, and it's one of the most important financial narratives of our lifetime. So, as we watch BRICS move forward, as we watch the US respond, remember this: history is being written in real time, and the choices made in the next few years will echo for generations. The suspense isn't over. In fact, it's just getting started. If you found this deep dive fascinating and want to keep following this story, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. Hit the bell so you won't miss any updates. Because when the world of finance shifts this dramatically, you'll want to be the first to know. Thanks for watching. And remember, the world of money isn't just numbers, it's power, influence, and sometimes survival. Keep your eyes open, because the game is far from over.